So good day everyone, especially to our instructor sir, good day. I am RG Ortiz-Solao from BSCRIM 4C. Now this video I will discuss about the rule 110 to rule 126 in the criminal procedure. Rule 110, prosecution of an offense. Filing a complaint or information whether a PI is required depends on the penalty prescribed for the offense. Those with the penalties of at least 4 years and 2 months and 1 day necessitate a PI by the prosecutor to determine a probable cause. Lesser of offense may proceed directly to court. The complaints won by the offended party or peace officer and the information filed by the prosecutor must be both clearly state the accused name or the description unknown, specifically offense charged as defined by the statute and any qualifying aggravating circumstances. While the prosecutor generally direct with the prosecutor in the lower court with an valuable prosecutor, the offended party or peace officer may initially prosecute under the prosecutor intervenes or the case is irrelevant. Now let's continue to the rule 111. 111 is a prosecution of civil action arising from the criminal offense. Generally, filing a criminal case automatically include a civil action for the damages unless the offended party waive the right reserved it for later separately filing, has already filed a separate civil action, or the crime does not involve the criminal liability. Filing fees apply to certain damages but not to actual damages, except the specific case like those involving bouncing check. A separate civil action filed after criminal case begins as suspended until the criminal case includes through solicitation may be request. Independent civil action may possible for specific civil code violation proceeding independent of criminal case. The date of the accused after arraignment extinguish civil liability from the crime, so the civil action may continue. Judgment in the civil case does not prevent a subsequent criminal action, and the criminal proceeding can be suspended if the prejudicial question exists and related cases, civil cases. Now let's proceed to the rule 112. PI, preliminary investigation. Preliminary investigation is process to crucial step determining whether sufficient evidence exists to proceed with a criminal trial. The investigation required for offense with the penalties for those less 4 years, 2 months and 1 day involved an inquiry into whether the probable cause exists. Like belief in a crime was committed and the response is guilty, automatically authorized officer including prosecution and a certain judge conduct the investigation, reviewing the complainant's issuing subpoena for the respondent's counter affidavit, potentially holding hearing and ultimately deciding whether to file an information and proceeding to the trial or dismiss the case. The resolution is subject to review by a higher authorized, except exists, such as when lawfully arrest proceeds in inquest, allowing for direct filing without PI. The process ensuring that only case with sufficient evidence proceeds to trial, balancing the right of the accused with the interest of justice. Rule 113 is arrest. Arrest is taking of a person into custody to answer for an offense. Arrest can be made without a warrant. A warrant required informing the arrestee of the cause and warrant exists. Unless impractical, while warrantless arrests are presumable if the offense occurred in the officer's presence has just been committed with a probable cause or involved an escaped prisoner. Arresting officer must inform to be arrestee or their right to remain silent to counsel, privately deliver them to the station, and allow communication with the legal counsel and relative. Attorney and relative have right to visit to the arrestee. The role balance the need for apprehensions with the protection of, including the right ensuring due process during the arrestee. Now let's continue the rule 140. Bail. Bail is a right except for the capital offense or those with strong evidence of the guilt, where the penalty is reclusion perpetua or life imprisonment. And for those with prior conviction for such serious crime. In the dictionary cases, the court considered the offense nature, penalty, the accused charge, flight risk, and financial ability. Bail type include cash, property, and solely bound with a potential condition like travel restriction or reporting requirements. Bail can be revoked for non-apprehensive new offense or threat to the public safety. Now let's continue to the Rule 115. Rule 115 is the right of the accused. So the right of the accused, including the presumption of innocence until proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt, is the right to be informed of the charge, the right to the counsel with court-appointed counsel provide or needed, the right to testify, to cross, the right to confront and cross-examine witness, and the right to compulsory process for securing evidence, and the right to a speedy, impartial, and public trial. Continues to the Rule 116. Arraignment and plea. Arraignment and plea is ensuring the accused understanding the charge. The accused must be present and personally plead guilty or not guilty to the charge, read language they understanding. A refusal to the plead or conditionally plead result is not guilty plead being entered. The rule emphasizes the importance of the accused's understanding of the charge and their right to a fair trial. Preventive detention cases have specific time frame for the arraignment, and the private offended party presence is required for plea bargaining and civil liability discussion. Now let's continue to the Rule 117. Rule 117 is motion to quash. Motion to quash is a complaint or information before pleading challenging this is validity on the grounds such as sufficient fact lack of jurisdictions, improper filing, or violation of the accused's right. The motion must be in writing and specify the grounds. The court will only consider those starting except for a lack of jurisdiction over the offense. If the defect is curable by amended, the prosecution is given the chance to amend. Otherwise, the motion may be granted. An order sustaining the motion doesn't bar another prosecution unless based on the ground, like double jeopardy or extinguishment of the liability with specific exemption. Failure to raise ground before pleading generally constitute a waiver. To the Rule 118, pre-trial. This pre-trial ba? Let's continue to the Rule 118, pre-trial. So pre-trial is allowing the accused to plead guilty to a lesser offense in exchanging for a reduced sentence. This requirements agreement from the accused, their counsel, prosecution, and the offended party, subject to the court approval. Plea bargaining is not permitted for all offense, particularly heinous crime or those punishable by death. The court ensures the accused understand the consequence before approving the agreement. We then becomes binding. The accused may withdraw their plea before sentencing for the valid reason, but not afterward unless fraud or coercion is proven. This role balancing official case is resolution with the protection of the accused's right. Now let's continue to the Rule 119, trial. After a not guilty plea, the accused has 15 days to prepare, and the trial must begin with the 30 days of the pre-trial order. This trial should process continuously with a postponement after the justifiable reason. The entire trial period is generally limited to the 118 days, including delay caused by other proceeding, witness and vulnerability, or the accused incapacity. The court balance the need for a speedy trial with the interest of justice and granting continuous. These rules aim to explain and process while upholding the right of the accused. Now let's continue to the Rule 121. During criminal cases, the prosecution presented the evidence first, following by the defense, with the opportunity for the rebuttal. Witnesses are examined so direct the cross-examination with the redirect and recross-examination allowed. Documentary evidence must be authenticate, and the best evidence rules apply. Objection to evidence are allowed, and the court rules on admissibility. The court may include irrelevant or prejudicial evidence and may order as preservation. These rules continue to the rule 126. A seizure warrant issued by a judge authorized a peace officer to search specific place for particular items related to a crime such as stolen property or evidence. The application for a warrant must demonstrate probable cause determined by the judge after examining the complaint or witness under oath. The warrant must describe the place or to be searched and the item to be seized with a particularly protecting against generally or unreasonable searches. Improperly obtained evidence may be admissible in court. And that's all. Thank you.